I was halfway down the hallway when I heard my name. Not called. Whispered. Don't close the door yet. I froze. The office was supposed to be empty. Everyone had gone home. I'd watched the lights shut off row by row, desk by desk. My bag was already on my shoulder. My phone was in my hand, vibrating with a missed call I didn't plan to answer. Then I heard his voice again. Calm, controlled, too close. I know you heard me. My heart started slamming so hard I could feel it in my throat. I didn't turn around immediately. I don't know why. Maybe I was hoping I was wrong. Maybe I was hoping this was still my normal life and not whatever it was about to become. I turned slowly. He was standing by the meeting room door, jacket off, sleeves rolled, smiling like nothing was wrong. Come in, he said, we need to talk. That was the moment I knew I was in danger. If you're watching this and you think this is just another office drama story, I need you to understand something now. I didn't walk into this. I was pulled into it. And once you're pulled in, leaving isn't as simple as walking away. I worked hard for that job, I needed it, I wasn't powerful, I wasn't connected, I was replaceable and I knew it. So when Adrian, my boss, noticed me, I thought it meant I was finally doing something right. He used to say things like, you're different from the others, or you actually think. Little comments, private praise, nothing that felt inappropriate, nothing I could report, just enough to make me feel seen. People loved him. He was married, respected, constantly praised by upper management. He talked about ethics in meetings, about integrity, about loyalty. I believed every word. That belief is what ruined me. The first strange thing happened weeks earlier, though I didn't realize it at the time. He asked me to stay late to help organize some documents. Just me, no one else. While we worked, he started talking about pressure, about how powerful people get targeted, about how one mistake can destroy a career. Then he looked straight at me and said, if something ever happened to me, I'd need someone I trust to stand by me. I laughed nervously and said, I'm sure you have plenty of people. He didn't smile. No, he said, very few. That night he accidentally sent me an email. At least that's what he claimed later. The email wasn't flirty, it wasn't dramatic, it was worse, it had attachments, financial transfers, a settlement agreement, a name I didn't recognize, and the words confidential, do not distribute. I stared at my screen for a long time. I shouldn't have opened it, I know that, but curiosity doesn't ask permission. I searched the name. And that's when my stomach dropped. 2 years earlier, a young intern had died. The company said it was suicide. I remembered the email they sent, the grief counseling they offered, the way everyone stopped talking about it after a week. The settlement in my inbox told a different story. It wasn't just money, it was silence, it was signatures, it was protection. And Adrian's name was all over it. I didn't sleep that night, I didn't eat, I didn't breathe properly until morning. I kept telling myself there had to be an explanation, there always is, right? The next day he called me into his office. He closed the door. Then he locked it. You look tired, he said gently. I said nothing. He leaned back in his chair and studied me like I was a problem he'd already solved. You read the email, he said. I swallowed, I didn't mean to. I know, he replied, that's why I trust you. That sentence still makes my skin crawl. He didn't deny anything. He didn't explain either. He just said, there are things in this world that look ugly when you don't understand the context. Then he smiled and added, and there are things that destroy innocent people when they're misunderstood. I whispered, why did you send it to me? He stood up slowly and walked closer, not threatening, almost protective. Because now, he said, we're connected. I should have reported him, I should have walked out, but fear does strange things to your brain. It makes survival feel smarter than morality. After that, my life changed quietly. I got a raise, better projects, closed-door meetings, late dinners that started as strategy sessions. He listened to me, complimented me, told me I was strong. You're not like the others, he said again one night. You understand me. When he kissed me for the first time, I didn't stop him. I wish I had. Before you judge me, I need you to hear this clearly. Power doesn't always force you. Sometimes it convinces you that you chose it. If you're still watching, take a second to like this video, not because it's entertaining, but because stories like this need to be heard. And subscribe because this gets much worse from here. By the time I realized I wasn't special, I was already trapped. I didn't realize how far gone I was until the night Adrian stopped pretending. It was a Thursday, late, too late for anything good to happen. He asked me to come to his apartment, not the office, not a hotel, his actual home. I hesitated. I thought your wife was back this weekend, I said over the phone. There was a pause, just long enough to make me uncomfortable. She is, he said calmly. That's why you need to be discreet. Something in my chest tightened. I should have said no. I opened my mouth to make an excuse, but he cut in before I could. Relax, he said. I wouldn't put you in danger. I remember thinking how strange that sentence was. Not I wouldn't hurt you, not this is safe asterisk, just asterisk danger asterisk. When I arrived, the house was quiet, too quiet. He poured wine like this was normal, like we weren't standing inside a lie. You look tense, he said. I feel tense, I replied. This whole thing it's getting complicated. He smiled, slow and patient, like I was a child saying something cute. Complicated is manageable, he said. Exposure is. That was the first time he said it out loud. We slept together that night. I won't romanticize it. It wasn't passion. It was confusion mixed with fear and validation. I hated myself afterward, but I also hated how relieved I felt when he held me and said, I've got you. A week later, everything broke. We were in his office again, door closed, lights dimmed. He asked me to sit. Before we go any further, he said, there's something we need to be clear about. He picked up his phone and pressed play. I heard my own voice before I understood what was happening. Breathing, laughing, saying his name. My stomach dropped so fast I thought I might throw up. He turned the phone toward me. It was a video, me naked, unaware. I stood up so fast my chair scraped the floor. What the hell is that? He paused the video. Insurance, he said softly. My hands were shaking. You recorded me without my consent. But he didn't argue. He just said, now we're equal. No, I snapped. Delete it right now. He leaned back, completely relaxed. If I delete it, he said, what stops you from destroying me? I felt something inside me crack. You told me I could trust you, I whispered. I told you the truth, he replied. Trust is expensive. That was the moment I understood. I was never protected. I was collateral. I started crying, not quietly. Ugly, humiliating sobs. I begged him. I hated myself for begging, but I did it anyway. Please, I said, you don't need that. I would never say anything. He stood up and came around the desk, wiping my tears like a concerned partner. I know, he said, but people change. Fear makes them unpredictable. Then he kissed my forehead and added, this way, we're both motivated to keep things exactly how they are. I went home and scrubbed my skin raw in the shower. I couldn't look at myself in the mirror. Every compliment he'd ever given me replayed in my head, twisted into something ugly. From that day on, the rules changed. He became colder, more controlling. He decided when we spoke, when we met, what I wore, what I said at work. If I pulled away, he'd casually mention the video. If you ever feel like disappearing, he'd say, remember we disappear together. I stopped sleeping, I stopped eating properly, I started jumping every time my phone buzzed. Then came the second twist. The one that broke whatever was left of me. One night while he was in the shower, his laptop chimed. A notification, I don't know why I looked. Maybe part of me wanted proof I wasn't crazy. I opened it. There was a folder. Password protected. I guessed. His birthday, our company name, his wife's name. Nothing worked. Then I tried one word. Trust. It opened. Inside were videos. Not just mine. Different women, different rooms, different dates. Some crying, some frozen, some smiling like they thought they were special too. I sat on the bed and felt my body go numb. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a moment of weakness. It was a system. He came out of the bathroom and froze when he saw the screen. For the first time, he didn't look calm. "You went through my things," he said. My voice came out flat. "How many of us are there?" He didn't answer. "How many?" I screamed. He sighed like I was being unreasonable. "You're focusing on the wrong thing." "The wrong thing," I laughed hysterically. "You ruined our lives." "No," he corrected. "You benefited from proximity to power, just like the rest of them." That sentence rewired something in my brain. I wasn't his partner. I was a resource. That night, I stopped being afraid of losing him. I became afraid of staying alive inside this situation. I started planning quietly. I copied files when he wasn't looking, took screenshots, recorded dates and times, sent backups to an email he didn't know existed. I smiled when he expected me to. I agreed when he tested me. Inside, I was counting days. If you're still here, please comment something, even a single word. Engagement helps stories like this reach people who might recognize the signs before it's too late. I didn't confront him. That's what everyone thinks you're supposed to do in moments like this. Storm in, demand justice, threaten exposure. But I had seen what confrontation did to the women before me. It didn't free them, it activated him. So I disappeared quietly instead. I resigned on a Monday morning. No drama, no accusations, just a short email copied to HR. Due to personal reasons, I'm submitting my resignation effective immediately. He called me within 5 minutes. I didn't answer. He texted, "You're making a mistake." I didn't reply. By noon, my access was revoked. By evening, my company email was gone. Just like that, I was erased. For a brief moment, I felt relief. That was my first mistake. 2 days later, my phone started blowing up. Unknown numbers, private callers, emails from people I didn't recognize. Then a former coworker called me, voice shaking. "What did you do?" she asked. "I resigned," I said. "Why?" There was a long pause. "He told them you extorted him." My blood ran cold. She continued, "He said you seduced him, threatened to expose false allegations, and tried to destroy his marriage." I couldn't breathe. By the end of the week, the story had spread. Quietly, strategically, not online, not publicly. Just enough. HR sent me a formal notice warning me against defamation. His lawyer sent a cease and desist. My name started carrying a weight I didn't ask for. Then he did it. He released part of the video. Edited. Carefully cut to make it look like I was in control. Like I was the predator. I watched myself on that screen and didn't recognize the girl smiling back. That was when I sent everything. Every file, every video, every settlement, every receipt. I sent copies to the board, to a journalist, to his wife. And then I waited. For weeks, nothing happened. Then the company announced an internal review. Then an audit. Then silence. People started whispering again. His name stopped coming up in meetings. His wife deleted every photo of him online. I thought finally this was it. I was wrong. They settled. Quietly. No admission of guilt, no charges, no public statement. He stepped down to pursue other opportunities. I got nothing. No apology, no correction, no justice. Just a reputation I couldn't outrun. I moved, changed jobs, changed my number. I thought time would soften it. It didn't. One night, months later, I got a message. Unknown number. 3 words. You survived barely. I stared at my phone until the screen dimmed. He had won. Not because he was smarter. Not because he was stronger. But because he understood something I didn't. Secrets don't need to be buried forever. They just need enough people to be afraid of them. Here's the part that hurts the most, and I need to be honest with you. I helped him. Not at first, not intentionally, but silence is still participation. Every day I stayed quiet, someone else was being pulled in. That's how systems like his survive. Not through violence, through entanglement, through shame, through making you feel like you'll destroy yourself if you tell the truth. If you're watching this and something feels familiar, the isolation, the special treatment, the subtle threats disguised as care, please hear me. Power doesn't always force you. Sometimes it seduces you. And by the time you realize what it costs, you're already paying. I'm telling this story now because silence protected him. And I won't do that anymore. If this story kept you watching till the end, please like the video. It tells the algorithm this matters. Subscribe so stories like this don't disappear. And comment, even if it's just a heart, so this reaches someone who might need it. Because monsters don't look like monsters. They look like mentors. And secrets like these don't just ruin careers. They consume lives, same way I will come back to ruin him. And if you stayed till the end, thank you for listening.